Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Mike back here on the Dark Magical Gaming podcast. Corey's gone. Oh my gosh.
Dad!
I looked up and he's not there.
He's gonna be back in like a second.
This would be a good blooper reel.
So, yeah, right.
What's going on, guys? It's Mike from Dark Magical Gaming, back at it again on, I think, episode 6 or episode 7 of the podcast, here with co-host Corey and Kazi. Just come off of YCS Charlotte, and Kazi did an incredible job. Very proud of this guy. Couldn't be more proud to call him my friend. And so we're going to kind of go around, and everyone's going to talk about their YCS experience. Especially because it was Kazi's first YCS, and get our thoughts and just share our experience for how it went. So whoever would like to go first.
Let's go. On to the next one.
I like Kazi on the spotlight.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So as Boyd mentioned, this was like my first, not only YCS, but like first event ever for anything. And it was a lot of fun. I had the time of my life. And all the hard work and dedication and testing and help from all the people in the community and my friends, like I was able to somehow. I didn't top, but I still made. I made 61st out of all the players in the YCS. So that was like probably like to date like my greatest accomplishment. So I'm like super happy about that. Like I was legit just one away from making top cut. Essentially, my only two losses were to Christian Urena and Sean Washington. They both made top cut as well. So it goes to show that like I lost to people who were already at the top. And one of my other losses was super unfortunate. It was like a gimme round. I played against Heroes and I didn't draw a single predicate name in 2 games. So there's nothing I can really do about that. But you know that it's just that things like that sort of happen. But I was just super lucky to be in a place where you know, like seeing hard work, dedication, and like testing nonstop, vigorously actually paid off. Like I played Pile Prank Kids, and I didn't think like I knew the deck would perform well, but I didn't think it was gonna like all those niche and minute details I paid attention to. I wasn't sure that they were gonna pay off, but they all paid off at the long run. I was like, wow, like in a large event like this. Who knew that taking those things into considerations were the ones that put me over the edge. And a lot of my friends were looking at the list and they're like, dude, this list is just absurd. They were like, I was like, I was like thinking about everything, and I was like, I'm gonna try to cover as much as I can, and it worked out in my favor. So, but yeah, no, shout outs to Easy Gaming, shout outs to everyone. I'm just honored for the fact that you guys gave me the opportunity to rep you guys. Like I said, it wasn't a top, but we damn near almost got there, man. For my first event ever, just like getting into day 2, I went in just like, man, if I could just get to day 2, and it's like I'm straight. But then to be able to play 61st, all those people, like it was really humbling. And the fact that like I was able to go against like some of the big shots and go head to head with them, and to know that like it took some crazy interactions, some crazy things for them to beat me, I'll take that, because most players aren't gonna be doing things like that. So super excited. I'm super happy. I'm just very thankful that I had the support for everyone who were behind me, supporting me throughout the whole thing. Because not only was I doing this, I was also fasting as well, and not being able to drink and eat throughout that whole process. It took a real toll on me. But it was just like I was in it, man. I was in the place of Yugi, and I was just having the time of my life out there, and it was so cool. Shout out to all my opponents, man. It was so much fun playing against everybody. I've never had that much fun in my life playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah, more YCSs to come, that is for sure. And hopefully, you know, the result is just a little bit better than this time, and then we can squeak in there for top cut. So, that I had a fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're definitely all very proud of you. Very good job to you. So, Corey, how was your YCS experience?
YCS experience was kind of painful. like it started off hot. I won my match. My second round. I had a discrepancy with my opponent. They nibbed me, and I had the Brave token, and they were like, I'm presenting lethal, and I was like, but you're not, because it's like my token has 2,000 attack. and they're like, I had exactly 3,000 life points, and they when they nibbed me, they're like, I'm presenting lethal, and I was like, no, you're not. I called a judge over. Judge came over, read rights of Aramis, and was like, yeah, it says original attack and defense, and then like time in the round went off, and somehow in that 10-second span, it warranted 1 minute extension, and that allowed him to like draw and play on his turn. And he drew rights of Aramis unironically to summon the 2,000 token and get exact life. So that just kind of worked out that way. And then the second round or the third round, I lost in time again. I literally had everything I needed to put game on board. I just didn't have the time to get there through my opponent's interactions.
Yeah.
I was literally climbing into access code to pop the 2 kids he had left on board to swing for a game, and just ran out of time. And then round 6 was the straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back. I was playing Prinket's Pile. I had full combo into Battle Butler. Game 1, game 2, my opponent, it was Amir. They had full combo, threw 2 hand traps, which was just pretty crazy. And then game 3, I look at my hand. I was like, oh, I got Small World, Rights, Baylor, Ash, and a kid. And I was like, great, I got full combo and backup. Like, we're in this. I was like, let me see if I can like bait an interaction. So I like Small World into Enchantress. They let that go through, and then I Enchantress effect. They ashed the Enchantress, but I had rights. Summon activate, summon kid, summon token, play Faithful, summon kid, link 1, chain block with Faithful, and Ogre. I was like, all right, cool. Summon out my kid. Summon out the kid. I'm about to pick up the cards to go into Doodle Do. My opponent goes, do you have any quick effects? And I was like, nah. And they're like, cherries, call, Doodle Do. And I was like,
oh, painful.
Okay. Link 2 into Verte, because that's the only play I could make at that point. It was, and then I was like, Verte effect, like pay cost, 2,000 life points, dumb Fusion Destiny, in perm. I was like, all right, 4 hand traps, let's go, you got it. I was like, I'm gonna pass to my opponent. They're gonna have 1 card in hand and draw for turn. I pass. They go draw. I was like, yep, standby phase. Yep. Activate. Right. Summon token. Activate Faithful. Normal kid. I was like, oh my god, you had 4 hand traps and full combo.
That's insane.
It was just really bad, and I was just like, after that, I was just like, I can't top X3, so
hashtag not my day.
Yeah, it's just one of those Yu-Gi-Oh days where some days you show up and like your hands are godly and your opponent's not on their hands not as godly, and you just win the luck of the draw. And some days your opponent is you're like Hercules and there's Zeus just slapping you around. You know what I'm saying? So. So you gotta take those L's in stride.
Yeah, exactly. My YCS experience was quite different because I didn't get to go to day 1. So coming in for day 2, I was just gonna show up, just vibe and just hang out and chill, have a good time. Well, my friend Justin wanted me to play in a 3v3, which we didn't know started at 10 o'clock. So we had to literally rush there. I left my brand new sleeves in the car that I was going to re-sleeve with, so I had to buy sleeves when I already had sleeves. He filled out my deck list for me after I sent him a picture of it. Was how like just thrown together this 3v3 was, and it starts off pretty good because round 1 we get a bye, and I'm like, okay, sweet, we're in there. We won at least 1 round, So the next round we play against MBT and DZ and another guy, I can't remember his name, but their team. So I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, we're going to lose round 2. So my teammates are playing 60-card Prank Kids, the YCS winning deck. And Live Twins, tier 1.5, deck. It's pretty good. I'm playing Heroes. How am I the only one that wins? I'm the only one that wins. And I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. But, so yeah, we lost. And, but, it was still a lot of fun. And I was just so almost starstruck just by being back in a YCS with all these people that I just walked around the entire rest of the day, watched people play and talk to people. I took 12,000 steps yesterday being there. And my legs hurt so bad when I woke up this morning. But it was all worth it. Like, just being back in there and then watching that guy take the uncut sheet of Starlight Rares was insane. Like, especially the fact that dude walked around showing that off. I would have been in my car on the way home. I'd be like, yeah, forget that. I don't care if I was in first place. Like, I'd be like, yeah, forget this. I'm going home. I already won.
Yeah.
Let somebody else have it.
Not. We were not lucky. I teamed up with Ryan, who's been on the podcast, and his friend John Lee. We participated in the 3v3 as well. We did not get lucky. We had to play the first round. So we were one of the 9 teams selected to do it because instead of signing up 32 teams, they signed up 35.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just weird. They were like, we need to eliminate 3 teams, so we're going to have 9 teams play round 1 and give the other 26 buys. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And
meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
So we're sitting there playing. Everybody's coming around, seeing what we're on and everything. So I mean, lost a little bit of advantage there. Then we got to top 8, and then we lost, I think, to the team that ended up winning. So it was. I wasn't too upset about it. But yeah, the day 2 is definitely nice to just walk around. Is way less crowded than day 1.
Day 1, yeah, for sure.
So it was a little bit. It was nice to like be able to walk around and actually get the opportunity to talk to like content creators in the sphere and like pro players in the sphere. Because day 1, trying to talk to any of them, they were getting pulled like 19 different directions by people. So it just wasn't a good time.
So, as far as like the YCS, I have the breakdown here. So the breakdown was 9 Destiny Adventure Prank Kids, 1 Adventure Prank Kids, 5 Tinny Sword Soul, 4 Flowander, 3 Destiny Synchro Adventure, 3 Destiny Adventure Cyberse Eldritch, 2 Eldritch, 1 Invoke DPE, 1 Shadal Dogmatica, 1 Despia Destiny, 1 Destiny Adventure Sky Striker, and 1 Dragon Link. So the thing that surprised me the most was the fact that there were 0 Phantom Knights in the entire top. What do you guys think about just the breakdown of decks within the YCS?
I mean, I think we knew there was a clear favorite going into it, being Prank Kids. I think any deck that's a 1-card starter that can also play DP and the Brave package and still have enough to combo off.
Yeah.
But it's just like inherently better than other decks, right? Like off the rip. I think that's why like Eldritch started playing the Cyberse package, is because like the Cyberse package is essentially the same thing. It's a 1-card starter. You normal summon the 1, link into Disciple, that one links into the other one, or specials 1 and then links into the link 2 that specials bag. So it just gives them like access into like that 1-card starting vision as well. So, and I think also in the last podcast I kind of said that I would be prepared that this is going to be when we start to see like the reemergence of Trap, because all these combo decks kind of just you can stop their initial combo line, they usually don't have too much follow up after that, and Trap decks are really good at that.
Yeah.
And like even like the Prank Kid list, like nobody was playing Rip Roaring because everybody was just counting on the Brave package to out the problem traps. So, and I think the lack of representation in Top Cut with Phantom Knights is due to, I think, and this is like no insult to people that play Phantom Knights, but I think Phantom Knight players are too dependent on Scythe to be their main line of offense and defense. And I mean, we saw it in like multiple feature matches, or like matches that I was spectating where if you had an out to Scythe, you had the game on board. Like it just there was no other way around it.
So we got Albert over here, joining us for a little feature action going on.
What's going on?
Welcome, Albert, to the podcast.
Do I need my camera?
It's up to you.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's up to you.
But Albert also day 2'd like a champ.
Yeah, Albert, let's go. That's why we need to get Albert up in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah. So going back to the breakdown, I feel like the reason why all those other decks did so well is because they don't lose to one singular hand trap. So like the prank hits just plays through God knows everything. There's just not a single hand trap that just shuts the deck down depending on the way that the deck is built. And the reason why we had 0 Phantom Knights is the deck just hard loses to Lancia. You rip a Lancia. There's very little things that they can do besides set up an Enforcer, I think, and Scythe.
And they can get the DP Scythe, and that's it.
And that's like their hand has to be insane. But all those other decks, like Lancia doesn't shut them off, Droll doesn't shut them off, Ash doesn't shut them off, Nib doesn't shut them off. And the fact that you can push through all those hand traps, I think that's why you were able to whittle out all those other decks in the format. So I think that's probably primarily the main reason as to why Phantom Knights didn't do too well. That's just my opinion. And also I think that, yeah, as you guys mentioned, like I think the Phantom Knight builds are very different than the ones that the way that I play the deck. I play the deck with like having Future Draco and all that other stuff. I think most lists don't include him. And that doesn't, and as you guys mentioned, like once you stop the Scythe, there's really not much for the deck to do other than getting it back on their turn and then hoping that they have Phantom Knights engraved. But they will not have Phantom Knights engraved. But like when you play the Future Draco route, you restock the entirety of the grave, so you'll always have a follow-up play versus the things that I was seeing other players do throughout the weekend. So I think that was probably one of the main reasons. Also, what was really cool was to see like the resurgence of Drytron. I was seeing even though not a single Drytron list had made it to Top Cut, but there were so many people on it, and all of the players were ending on pretty different end boards. So that I was like, I love the innovation that people are doing. It makes me kind of want to pick the deck back up just to give it a shot again, just to see what people are trying to figure out with it, because it looks like a lot of fun now that it's like its toxicity has been removed from the format. Like I can now play that deck and not people like want to like groan at me, because like I'm at that point where like I'm playing prank kids and everybody's like instantly just hates me, you know. Like I don't want to be at this spot anymore, you know. So
and people like have this disdain for prank kids, and like I'll say this first before I go into the prank kid thing is like the Drytron, like the reason we didn't see Drytron is the same reason we didn't see Phantom Knights, because the new Drytron setup is basically just make Dagda or dump big body, make ritual monster if you want to, but if you're going first, you're just making Dagda Vert a DP Scythe, like that's it, like that. So I think that's why you didn't see any like break into Top Cut, is because everybody in Top Cut is main decking Droplet. Everybody in Top Cut's main decking like Veilers and Perms. So it's like Drytron already loses to Droll. That's why I was really surprised to see the pure Dragon Link list make it, is because so many people were on Droll and like that deck just loses to Droll. So I don't know if they just had like.
I feel like a lot of people weren't on Droll. I think more people in the main board, at least. I feel like a lot of people were on like Ogre rather than Droll. But me, since I was on the pile, I played every hand trap. Like it's just so that's why Droll for me was really good. But I don't think many people didn't main it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have a disdain or distaste for prank kids because they just assume that because it has the ability to win in time that all prank kids players just want to go to time. And it was funny because I was watching Kazi's last match of day one, and he had to they got deck checked, and he got his deck back with 29 minutes in the round, and he had to break his fast at like 7:53 or something like that. So I was talking to the judge about it, and I was like, okay, well, they're like, if it gets to time, like just tell him to raise his hand, we'll take him out so he can break his fast, whatever. And then I was like, cool. So I let him know, and then I was like standing there like watching him play, and I look up and there's still like 9 minutes left in the round, and he's putting his deck back in his deck box. He's like, I got it. I was like, prank kids, all prank kids players stall to win in time, and their win condition is time. What do you mean? How'd you 2-0 somebody in 20 minutes? So it was just so funny.
I was absolutely I was beating the brakes off people all day long. It was insane. Like as Corey mentioned, how he got hand trapped. That's what I was doing to people all day long. A 3 hand trap, right? It was so toxic.
It's disgusting.
It was brutal, the beating I was putting on people. It was so. I had a lot of fun though, just watching and because it's like that feeling of when your opponent automatically just admits defeat. Like they don't say they lose, but when you see their face just like collapse, and you're like, yes, now I can play carefree because they got nothing. They've already admitted it to me, just the way that they're acting. And no player is that good enough to just automatically put up a front like that and still have responses. Nobody, if you admit defeat like that, you've genuinely admitted defeat in that fashion. So just doing that to people was just so funny all day long. Like that, and that game that Corey was mentioning, my end board, that was the best end board I had ever made all day, because I ended up with Enforcer, Griffin, Butler, Droplet, Ash, and Open Collector. That hand was just that end board that I had made. And he was playing the base deck, so there was nothing that he was going to be able to do that turn. He top decked Despot, and he's like, yeah, man, you got it. I'm not even gonna bother. I was like, oh my God.
That's so funny because I've done that before when I was playing Tenny Sword Soul. I was like, or when I was just playing like the Tenny Synchro with like the 2 Sword Soul names. I was like, man, it's like I just got hand trapped into oblivion. I was like, and watch. Then I'm gonna top deck Despot, and I ripped in. I was like, get me out of here! Get me out of here!
So we're gonna backtrack here for just a second. Onto the previous topic. Albert, how was your YCS experience?
It was amazing. Like my first YCS ever.
Talk to him, Albert.
Man, it was absolutely amazing. I had so much fun. Like it sort of just makes me want to play the game more. Like today at work, I was just like, me and Connor were just like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh the whole time.
The whole day.
It makes you realize how much you missed it.
Playing card games, man. You know, the energy and everything, like the vendors, the events, just everyone playing card games. Just absolutely amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, I tell everybody there's like nothing that you can ever do with Dueling Book or Master Duel or YGO Pro that it will ever equate to an in-person event. Like,
no, nothing.
The energy in the room,
aspect.
the social aspect of it. Like you're just surrounded by people that are as passionate or sometimes more passionate than as with the hobby as you are. So it's just like there's not a single person that you can't walk up into in the room and spark a conversation with. So
right, exactly.
Yeah. It just makes it a whole different environment.
Yeah, and everyone's actually like really cool. Like I never had any like super grimy opponents or anything. No one was like really disrespectful or anything. Everyone was just like having a great time.
I had one opponent that got really mad at me. They were playing DDDs, and I opened double Valor game 1, and then I opened Infirm Ash game 2, and they conceded. They conceded in like it was like 11 total minutes of match, and I like tried to offer them like the GG's fist bump, and they just
stormed off.
They just like looked at me and like put their deck box in their bag and like turned to like help their opponent because it was in 3v3.
It was in
to help their teammate. Yeah,
Oh man,
I was like,
not even the main event.
So,
sheesh.
right? Damn.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it was weird. Oddly enough, I remember seeing in the side events. That's when people were starting to get a little bit aggravated, which is kind of weird. Because I was doing the Yu-Gi-Oh Day events. I did 2 of them, and I like peeked over at one of the tables next to me, and there were 2 people having like a full blown argument, like cursing each other out. I'm just like, what is happening? Like the main event was so nice. I think what happens is that people just like they just get so triggered based off of what had happened throughout the day, and it really starts affecting them. But yeah, that was kind of weird in the towards day 2, the things that were happening there. But I guess it is what it is. It happens sometimes, right?
Yeah. Part of the game.
I guess they just like, if you don't do good in the main event, you get kind of mad. You keep losing side events or something.
Yeah.
So, if there was one thing that you could go back and change, either about your experience as a whole or about your deck, what would you change, if anything?
Albert, you can take the lead on this one.
I would definitely main draw. And like maybe token collector too.
Oh my god.
Like token
Bro,
collector is
Christian,
actually absurdly strong in this format.
Christian Urena was maniac, bro, and when he dropped it on me, I was like, there's no way, bro. Game 1?
Yeah, dude.
There's no way.
It's like maybe better than Ogre since like it hits the Brave Engine harder.
And that's like one of the things I learned about this, yo. Like, YCS is so different than preparing for locals or like a region or anything like because YCS, like, players are preparing for just meta. You know, like, you're just like, I'm only worried about meta. I'm not worried about the random rogue deck that you're going to play or this nonsense tech because it's not going to come up for me at all. And all the players that did really well or top, the deck was just prepared for meta and meta only. And I was like, wow, so that's like, difference in men. That's the mindset that I didn't have because I never had this kind of experience before. Because if I knew that was like okay and that's what people would do, I would because I had space to play token collector in the main. You know, I was playing other random stuff, but like I would have done something like that as well.
Out for the grows.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just things like that that I am very well aware of now, and I'm taking note of that. You know, I'm learning step by step. So that's one thing for sure that I'm just bouncing off of Albert's points. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Albert.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I don't even want to like play locals anymore. I just want to play like big events now. It's such a cool fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.
There's so much fun.
And like you get so much better like testing and like you learn so much more.
Yeah, and like it doesn't like I'm not saying like regionals aren't good in environments, but like a YCS, like the people that show up to the YCS, you know, they take the game seriously. Mm-hmm. So like and like I think Pac even tweeted like during the YCS, he's like, I feel like I just played 4 YCS finals because like the talent pool in the YCS is just so stacked.
Yeah, it was stacked. This YCS was stacked as hell.
Yeah, and like we had so many people there for like it was my first YCS. Like it was Kazi and Albert's first YCS. So like just getting in there and like being amongst the people that like you kind of like you're kind of net decking off of them sometimes. Like you're constantly seeing them like topping events and stuff, and you're up there and your name's like 2 spots down the list from theirs, or like you're watching them duel somebody like right next to you, and you're like, okay, so they're in the same spot that I am, like feeling good about this. Like it just hits different. So like regionals are obviously like gonna be they're way more common. You can go to those a lot more often, but like nothing replaces the feeling of like going to a YCS and seeing people that you like looked up to when you first started playing still there. Like seeing like Billy break in person was kind of crazy. Yeah. Like I've seen so many videos and like heard so many people talk about how crazy like Billy is at Yu-Gi-Oh! And then like I've never like seen him, and then like seeing him in person, I was like, oh, this is so crazy. Like Pac, like somebody that you know, like you like watch all the time on Twitch, or like meeting like Crush Cards, like good content creators that are good duelists. Like meeting them, it's just a surreal experience, and like if you get lucky enough, like Kazi got lucky enough to play against Christian. Like Christian Rain is He's crazy. He's like always been like a top tier player. So like it's just something else to kind of have that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's just so like that was what was surreal for me was that like this event was just so packed, and the fact that I was able to be toe to toe, like I was at the top tables all day, and I'm looking left and right. I'm like, yo, I know all of these players. Like one of the rounds, I sat next to Andre Torres. Another round, I was sitting next to I played against Christian Urena. Other rounds, I played against Sean Washington, made top cut. And another round, I was sitting next to Deep Grinder Austin. I was just like, bro, like this is just like I'm up here, dude. Like this is crazy. I was like it was. I get it. It's not a top, so I shouldn't be getting too excited. But like the fact that I was toe to toe with all of that. You know what I mean? Like I was in there sweating with everyone. Like it was getting real crazy. So
even if it's not a top, like that's still
amazing.
a really good accomplishment for yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
for sure.
I really wish I could have played day one because I haven't played in a YCS since 2015, and like the last one I played in was 2015 Charleston. And I'd been out of the game for like 6 months before then. And I was like, there's a YCS. I'm going to go play. I don't have a deck, so what do I play? I play Pure Lightsworn in 2015. I'm still playing Gores and Tragodia. And I missed day 2 by 1 spot playing Pure Lightsworn. One spot. Like, I didn't know what a Cleafork card did. Like, I did Celestia, which is the one you mill 4, pop 2, and he was like, skill drain. And I was like, I'll just chain Book of Moon, flip it face down. And I nuked his field and summoned 3 Judgment Dragons and attacked him in the last round. Like, it was so much fun, and I really wish I could have done something crazy like that at this one, but there's always more.
For sure.
I think just in terms of like if there was anything I could go back and change, like honestly the only thing I really wanted to change was like judging. Like I know I don't have any control over that, but like some of the judges were just like making really bad decisions. Like,
yeah. Yes.
I lost because of an unnecessary time extension. Honestly didn't know that I could appeal a time extension. I would have appealed that time extension if I had known. But like there was other situations during the day, like I think a person was awarded a game loss for drinking water, like during one of their games.
Way. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And then there was another instance where the match going next to me was one of our friends, and the judge walked by and was like, "Oh, you should be chain blocking these," like talking to the Fluender player he's going against, and like I was like, did a judge really just coach a player mid match? Like
yeah.
Did that just happen?
What?
And then
especially because like chain block isn't even like an official game term.
Yeah.
Like because that's the thing judges always say is like that's not an official term.
And then Tanya had an interaction with the judge where the judge came up to her after because she was doing a side event, and the judge came up to her and was like, "Oh, he was like, oh, did you win?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, that's surprising." And then she was like taken aback by it and was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Oh, well, there's a Dragoon up. I didn't think you have a way to out it." She was like, she was playing bird ups. She was like, "I just banished it with Ominous Omen." And then the judge looks at her and is like, "You can't do that because it can't be targeted." And she's like, "Ominous Omen doesn't target." And the judge is like, "Yes, it does."
No, my God.
Oh my God.
She really should have took the card out and been like, "Tell me where it says target. Give me your judge shirt."
There's several instances throughout the day that I saw and like experienced that I was like I understand like not every judge is gonna be like a top tier judge, but
yeah,
You
like
gotta be confident, bro. You gotta be confident.
or just like know the boundaries, like a judge like offering like play advice mid match, like that's just like too much.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, too far.
I want to call another judge over.
Judge, I need you to judge this guy.
Your buddy over here.
It's just messing all of this up, man. It's crazy.
Luckily, I only had one judge call, but it was like I knew the judge. He's like from our area, and he's like really knowledgeable about the game. So it was resolved really well. Like I mean, everything was just really clean. So
yeah, I went into this tournament. I was like, bro, I am not gonna call a judge, or I'm not gonna let a judge be called on me. I was not gonna put the game into their hands because I knew that they were gonna mess it up. So I was just trying my best to blow people out the water. And if I knew I was getting my ass handed to me, bro, we scoop it up, bro. I'm not wasting no time dealing with this. No way.
Yeah.
You know?
It seemed like it worked out for you too.
There's so many times during the day where like I just heard like people arguing, like just for the sake of arguing, hoping that it would result in a time extension for their match. And I was like,
that's such a bad mentality.
This is so toxic. Like, why would you want to do that? Like, you just look dumb. And then like, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about the drama with the finals, but I think most of it's been.
That's a dead horse. Yeah, that's a dead horse.
Everybody's talking about that, and it's just like I'm so over it.
Yeah, I feel like I do agree with the community though. The format is just it's the worst that it's been in my time playing. In the short 2 years that I've been playing, like I have never seen a format where it's just been extremely stale and boring. Like players just seem like they really seem like they really dislike where the game is right now, and it's really funny because like you look at the OCG, and this is like they're like somewhat comparable to like what they have, right? Like where it's like very degenerate, like decks or players are playing the same decks, and most of the cards in the decks are the same cards. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's really interesting that we've sort of shifted to something like that. And
yeah,
I remember like a couple.
Brave does.
Yeah, and I remember like in the very early podcast, I was saying like this is something that I really did not want to see happen because I want there to be different decks. I want there to be people playing and on different things, and not everybody playing the same thing. Because then you just have cards that shouldn't be good becoming good. Like, why is Token Collector a great card? You know what I mean? Like
cherries.
Yeah, cherries is coming up now. It's like okay, then you know it's bad.
I'm like these cards are bad.
Yeah, people are side decking extra deck monsters to cherries like. That's when you know the format's just not in a good spot.
It's really bad.
I actually said that. I actually said the same thing on Saturday when I was talking to somebody. I was like, I think this format is just really bad, and I think it's time. Like, I think the ban list needs to come out sooner than later, or because like a lot of people are just like everybody's like, oh, it's Scythe Log format. And I'm like, it's not even a Scythe Log format. It's literally 18 hand traps and Brave Engine in the main, followed by a 9-card like core. And it's like
there's
just like
the Scythe Lock. There's no outs to like quadruple hand trap.
Yeah.
1-card starter. There's no out to that. Like you can play crossout and tactics. They got the 4th hand trap or the 3rd one. You know, it's like what? And you use like 2 cards. Like wow, very nice.
Yeah, like you can make any deck run off of like Adventure Package, Hand Trap, and Phoenix Enforcer. Like I was talking earlier, I was just like, I'm pretty sure you could play Cloudians. I don't even know what Cloudians do, but it doesn't matter because you have a Griffin Rider and a Phoenix Enforcer, and nothing else matters.
Yeah, it was an actual. I forgot who it was. I think it was Cody, but like his deck was straight up just like all the hand traps, and then like Enforcer and Brave, and like that's really all you need.
It was
Brave Enforcer, and then like all hand traps. You're like good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was Jesse Cotton's list. Jesse Cotton was literally playing like Pot of Prosperity, and then like 20-something hand traps, and then Brave Engine.
Yep.
And it was like in Brave Engine DP. I was like,
it was a synchro pile though.
Yeah, it was a synchro pile, but there was literally like Rose Dragon and like Despot and like maybe like 2 monsters. I can't remember like the exact list, but it was literally like maybe 9 cards to like start the synchro chains, and then everything else is just hand traps in like combo extenders.
Yeah, which is why what was crazy, like Crossout was amazing this weekend. Oh my gosh, just watching that resolve and just breaking a person's back, it felt so good. It's like, yo, get absolutely punished. You should not be playing this card right now. Get wrecked.
Every time I got hit by Crossout, it hurt so bad. It like hurt so bad. Just like my only interaction, absolutely wasted.
Yeah.
Bro, I had one game too where I opened like a really nuts hand again. My opponent had 3 hand traps, and I was like, all right, it's cool. I'll end on like Griffin with like a 2 hand traps in hands after this prank draw, and then like I didn't draw. I was like, hopefully I draw a hand trap. I didn't. Also all I had was an Ash in the Griffin, and I was like, they go activate. They go activate pranks, I think, or something like that. And I was like, Ash, and they're like, called by. I was like, your 5th card in hand was called by in a 60 card pile.
Of course.
It's always.
I was so tilted. I was like, bro, I'm dead right now.
It's so funny because I was drawing call by like nobody's business in 60, and I'm like, yo, they're gonna be so mad. They're gonna be so mad.
I saw that happen on stream like 3 times in 60, and I was like, there is no way. There is no way. Can we check the deck list?
Yeah, right, check the deck.
Do they know this card's at 1?
Yo, it's so funny.
I had a 60 card prank kid player that I lost to. We were like basically top decking, and he just top decks Fusion Destiny, and it's like, okay, bro. Like,
Dang.
like it doesn't even mathematically make sense. Like, this shouldn't happen, but okay.
Yeah. That's how you get put in the blender.
Yeah. It's like my deck post side, there were 30 hand traps. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, every game too, I was drawing like minimum 3 hand traps, and then a prank kid name. It was not a good time for anybody.
I'm just gonna play like stun and play that rock monster. You know what I'm talking about? The spirit guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No monster
it's about
effects.
time he comes back.
And I'll be
No.
like, when we, and then they'll imperm him, and then they'll hand trap you.
Destroy the whole format.
Oh my god.
And there was a game, like, I was playing the Rose Dragon 10E pile, basically, but I didn't play like 60, I played close to 40. I played 42. And I played against D-Link. 60 card D-Link this one game. And he had a Tracer, Cherries, Nibiru, Gamma, and then Valor. And it's just like, you know, like, the whole reason I play this deck is because you can put up like 1 to 2 negates before you go for the Howl combo. And like, that's supposed to be enough. But it wasn't there. Like, I literally left Griffin and Baron up at the same time because I felt like he had 2.
He had 4,
Just
bro.
like, dude, okay.
That is insane. Did he cherish you that game?
He channels first, and I had a call by hand, so like, I hit that, you know, because I have to.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, and then he just, I mean, Nibiru, Gamma, they good for the Griffin and my Baron. It's just like, well, I'll just die.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
I don't have the Valor for your Striker Dragon. And even if I did, you just make DP and I die anyways.
Oh my god, yeah. Yo, I'm telling you, man, this is just so degenerate, this format. Every deck is just like, oh, all else failed. Make Verte, bro.
Make Verte DP. Yeah, because like by that time your opponent neg 2 or 3 and like you can't, it's super hard to play through a DP.
Yeah, if you're in like simplified board state, you're not beating Phoenix Enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you
it's hard to beat DPE when you use 4 cards in your hand to stop your opponent from playing.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you took all the players and you checked all their deck list and you took all the enforcers out of their deck list, it'd be like at least 1,300-1,400 copies of the DP in that room that day. Guaranteed.
Yeah, all the top tables were running it. Like, I just saw DP and then like Brave everywhere.
Bro,
yeah, we were talking about that too. We were like walking down the we were walking down the aisles like mid-match, like our mid like rounds, and like there's literally like DP on table, 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 Griffin. Like every table.
There was like 3 rounds. There was 3 rounds in a row. Me, my opponent, the 2 people next to me, and their opponents, everybody was on prank kids, and I'm like, there's no way, bro. What is going on?
It's so toxic. This format's so bad, but since it's like the first like big event, in-person event or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like,
we let it pass. We let it slide, right?
It's like I don't even care. I'm just here to have fun.
Right, like my expectations was just to go there, have fun. I didn't know that like Albert and I would do this well for this event. It was insane.
I was so happy when you made day 2.
Bro,
dude, you were 1 away from the last spot.
I was 127th, bro, out of 128. That was absurd.
Crazy, dude.
Bro.
Where's Kazi's name?
I'm about to dox Kazi real quick. This man was so distraught. This man was so distraught. He was
like sad, dude. He was
sitting in a chair. We were all trying to gas him up, and we were like, bro, you played insane. Like, even if you didn't top, like, you still like showed out for your first event. Like,
you don't even look at the list. You're just sitting there, like,
bro. I told him they're like, okay, pairings are posted. You have 5 minutes to verify, and I was like, yo, Kazi, you need to go check. And he was like, there's no point. I'm not gonna go up there just to see that I didn't make it. There's no point. And I was like, bro, if you don't go, I'm gonna go for you. And he was like, no, don't even go. There's no point. You're just wasting your time. And I was like, I'm going. I'm getting up. I stood up, and he's like, oh, fine, I'll come.
And then that's when he was like this when he saw it.
Yo, when he found out, this man looked like he was about to cry, dude.
I would have cried if I wasn't so dehydrated, bro.
Oh, I am deceased.
No water for you for 13 hours.
You can't even cry happy tears.
Oh man.
Yeah, there were so many times I wanted to cry, like in that hero matchup, bro. I wanted to absolutely cry. I just couldn't.
Oh my god. Yo, Malcolm told me about the hero matchup. It was terrible.
Malcolm was watching the whole thing, bro.
Yeah, he was like, not like this, bro. Not like this.
That was so rough, bro. I wanted to cry. I tried to force one out, let my opponent, like, bro, take it easy on me, bro. Don't kill me, bro.
Yeah, that's like not a matchup you ever want to break in, because they're like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, you just get OTK. You better have the Nibiru.
Yeah.
You better have it.
I for sure didn't.
There's so many games I wish I had Nibiru. Oh my god, my Fluffle, last match of day 1, Fluffles, man, I'm pretty sure he resolved Toy Vendor like 4 times, because there's one that like resets it or something like that, and like he basically drew like 7 or 8 times. I don't even know.
His hand was
bad.
I saw that, and his hand. I mean, like game 3, I saw him like resolve Toy Vendor comes on. I'm like, bro, there's no good cards in his hand. I'm like, Albert got this, bro. Albert got this.
I trolled him.
Oh,
game 2. Thank God. I had the troll, and he did not have Gamma. Like, Gamma was just over. I was just like, alright, well, I lose.
Yo, Gamma was the best hand trap of the day, bro.
Yeah, Gamma was insane.
Gamma's the best hand trap in general.
Yeah. Yo, OCG has Gamma. I think it's at 1 now, right?
No, it's at 2. I think.
It's at 2? It's at 2, and they still run it. So, like, that just tells you how good it is.
Half the time, I only cited in it, too.
Dang.
It's in the main into no cap.
Oh my god.
I forgot to give a shout out to our friend Madison, who really also impressed me, playing pure dinosaurs and almost making top 32, which is insane.
He ended up at 40th place. So close.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yo.
With Dino, bro.
And I 100% believe he would have topped, but literally round 8, he lost his deck box. And so, like, one of his game losses, he didn't even get to play because he lost his deck box. And somebody turned it in after the round.
He would have won.
Bro, and he wasn't even playing, like, the Dino FTK. He was playing, like a crazy, like, Dino, like, control deck where he was like ending on like Appaloosa with Logia and like Nat Beast or Logia and Dolka, and then like
Nappy's good.
Nat Beast's real good.
He's good right now. Nice right, bro.
What you mean Io is banned, bro?
Yeah, this is IO.
Like, Justin messaged me on Saturday. He was like, dude, Madison is like XO right now. And I was like, oh, what's he playing? Like, Prank Kids Pile? He's like, he's playing Pure Dinosaur. And I just put my phone back in my pocket. I didn't even respond. I was like, I can't deal with this right now. I was like, I'll just hit him back up later. I can't deal with this.
The Chad Dino player.
I was just like, this guy really said, go ahead and scythe lock me. Drop UTC.
He said it don't matter what board you make because this conductor about to go off from the
Yeah.
5K.
Yeah. What's that? You bow wow bark to protect your prank kids? That's fine.
That's fine.
Attack them all. Take
I don't destroy
5,000.
any of those.
I'll just send them.
I'll just send them.
Battle Butler. Misk.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Oh yeah,
Insane.
this is still a crazy card.
So proud of that guy.
He was playing like literally like 13 ways to get to Misk. He was playing Fossil Dick, Small World, OV Raptors, and like all like if you didn't get there, he had Terraforming in mind. So he was like, he was like build a board. I was testing against him the night before. I built like a full Prank Kid board, and he goes activate mine, combo, double Evo pill, summon UTC, book everything, send. I was like,
It was one of his matches in day 2 I walked by, and this PK player opened 3 Fog Blades. So he sets 3, and I can tell the guy looks pretty confident until Madison plays Lost World, and I was like, yeah, this game's over. I was like, it's over. Lost World token, Fog Blade doesn't matter.
That was another crazy thing too. Is like if you are playing the Brave package, like Lost World inherently makes your deck useless.
Yeah.
Because
it's so annoying.
It is so stupid. It's
so annoying.
Like if you have a Brave token up, like it's just over. Like
I'm about to go back to playing Dino, bro.
Yo, you always gotta respect that deck. It's so scary.
I love that deck. That's my favorite deck.
It's actually just super scary.
Summon Conductor, I don't care, bro. I don't care what you have.
It doesn't matter what you have. Like,
scary.
I'm under Misk, and when I get to battle, I have Dolka. So it doesn't matter what you have.
It doesn't matter. Oh my god.
God, I don't miss that card being at 3.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, I don't miss that card at 3.
That card's definitely a problem.
Yeah, shoutouts to Madison. I'm sure he ruined a lot of people's first YCS experience. They've been testing for like months, like against Prank Kids, go and get yeeted by Dinosaur.
Could you imagine like the last round is like make or break with his opponent? His opponent's playing like some crazy like meta hype deck that's perfectly suited to destroy like Prank Kids and Dragon Link and Sword Soul, and then he just goes normal OV, Misk effect, and you're just like,
no, it's like you see Dino, you're like, oh, this should be the buy. Like, I'm good, bro. It's just Dino.
Yo, that Dino board is scary.
It is hella scary. Man.
It's scary, man.
It's so scary. It's crazy, man.
Well, that's how I felt like end of day 1. I played like basically meta the whole day, and then like Fluffles my last round. I was like, no, not like this. I don't know what anything does. I really have no idea what's going on.
Listen, Albert. At least you didn't lose to it. I just got clapped by 2 heroes.
Hey, I just saw him search a million times. So I was like, this droll better save me. This is all I got. This is literally all I got. Because I'm not going to read your cards like a million times. It's not going to help me.
Oh my god.
I've read them 4 times already, and I still don't know what they do. All right, just go.
Just like, why is it toy vendor once per turn? Like, and why do you get to set it? Like, why do you get to look at what's this?
Yo, it's insane, bro. That's what I loved about this YCS. Just so many memories of just like niche things that no other human being in the world will understand except Yu-Gi-Oh players. And we can say that we have that for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we can get together, like, yo, remember the YCS when that nonsense happened? You're like, yo, that was crazy, bro.
This is like one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh experiences like ever. I'll always remember this.
I will never forget this. I will never, ever, ever forget this YCS. This was just the time of my life. Like, I can't put into words like how much fun I had. And it was just like being able to spend it with friends and everyone, like, that's what made it better because
That's the best part.
in 2020, right, when they had YCS Charlotte and when COVID actually came down, right, like, I'm actually happy that we didn't get to go because I probably would not have had as much fun as I would have this YCS compared to that one, just because I didn't really have that many Yu-Gi-Oh people that I knew going into that event. But when I came in here after every round, you know, trying to catch up with everyone, like, yo, how'd you do? You know, what was the junk? What was the funk? You know, like, and just being able to talk about all that stuff, it was so much fun, so much fun. And then watching everybody's comeback. Albert in the beginning was getting bodied, bro. Albert was like,
Oh my god, it was so sad. I actually just wanted to stop playing after like one or two, the first two rounds. I was like, I think I'm just done.
Albert was like the first 3 round X2, and he's like, bro, what is going on? I'm like, nah, you got this, bro. And then Albert just started picking it up, winning it out. I'm like, Albert, let's go.
Yo, I didn't think I'd have to. There's no way. Yeah, I still kind of don't believe it.
It's
like,
crazy, right? It's
win
crazy.
second round in a row, bro.
Just win, bro. Just win.
Just win.
Crazy.
I was talking to Justin all day, and he was telling me how good everybody was doing, and then he was like, now I have to play Albert. And I'm like, no, you guys have to play each other.
Hey, Drew, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drew.
Yeah.
The one draw that we could have had.
The one draw you could afford.
Yeah.
It was. We had to. It was 2-1, and then you could make it.
And you know that's also the crazy thing. Like, you have to get so lucky, man. Like,
Yeah.
with your matchups, with the pairings, with the decks you're playing, with the hands you're drawing, like, and that just goes. And that's what makes it even more impressive to me. Like, for some of the pro players, like the fact that they, like, those who like consistently make day twos or consistently top regionals, consistently top YCs, like, damn, like, they're able to discount all those other factors and still, like, be at the top. But you know what I mean? Like, bro, we here, too. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm here. We all here right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we in this too.
It validates a lot of like the time you put into the game when you show up and like you compete.
And also validates the people that we play with. You know what I mean? Because the people we play with are the ones responsible for pushing us to that level. You know what I mean? And I can damn near say like, yo, North Carolina Yu-Gi-Oh players, bro, like, we're just as good, bro. We're just as good. Like, can't nobody come down here and say that they're gonna have an easy time against any of us. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like we put ourselves on the map throughout this event. There were so many people from all the other card shops, all the other places throughout North Carolina, making it to top people who were repping out for the state. So that was beautiful to see for sure. No questions asked.
I was gonna say, I think all the major teams like had at least one person on their team like get into either day two or like get in there, like to I think even a couple people topped from North Carolina. It's just like Arturo was X1 after day one, which
so
is crazy.
Close. So close.
Yeah, and then I think DeMonte from Team Scheme, he was in there. He made day two, so it's like people from literally all over the state were in there.
Yep. We were there, man. We were there. We showed out. We did our thing, man.
Team Easy.
Let's go. We were there too, man. Let's go. Man.
All the way.
Only one of us this time, but next time.
Yeah.
Next time it's gonna be all of us.
We're gonna bring home this regional top 8 this weekend.
Yeah,
I need to get my invite.
I'm gonna need to see y'all there.
Oh, Corey, you going?
Yeah. I'm going. I gotta get my invite because I just started playing again last March, so I haven't had a chance to do regionals.
Oh, okay.
Are you going this weekend, Albert?
Dude, I'm actually glad I didn't see it last night.
Yeah, nobody was prepared for Scythe. At least that was
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
Going
bad.
yeah, going back to like Boyd's other question was like, yo, what would you change in the list? I'd definitely put 3 droplets in the list going forward. Like just
Yeah, I would make it.
guaranteed. I'm keeping 3 droplets now because man, you just need it so many times. So it's like, man, if I had this droplet, man, it'd have been insane. I didn't have droplet because the interactions in which droplet was coming up wasn't because I needed to shut off my opponent's monsters. There were so many games where I needed to resolve Anaconda. I could have used the droplet to send it off the board to dodge an imperm, dodge a failure, and I was like, man, I wish I had droplet right now. It's so bad, so bad. And but like you know what I mean, like that's why like that's like the hidden abilities of droplet. Like it's such a crack card. You can use it to shut off your opponent's board. You can use it to your advantage as well. I remember under mine as well, somebody like put up 2 bodies and I droplet sent my own body, and the dude was just locked out for playing the game. He just scooped because he had no out because I was on 60.
I think one of my favorite things is like droplet send enchantress, and it's just like
So free.
so free.
It's so
You locked
free.
the man out of
Sense
his own
praise,
mystic
actually,
mind.
right?
I just imagine the confidence that was like dropped with that mystic mind, and then the sheer fear when he saw the droplet flip up.
Dude got locked out.
The guy was probably just like, "Yeah, I'm never going back to another YCS again."
Yeah, Mystic Mind was awful this tournament. It was garbage.
What would be
for me,
funnier
like,
is if the next round he lost to Madison against Dinosaur.
I think that's another card that's like super like some people loved it and some people hated it because like Madison said like Mystic Mind was insane in his deck like for him, so
yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, like for Dino, it makes sense because you could put up so much damage and just end the game immediately. Me, what am I gonna do?
You can give them monsters with Lost World.
Yeah, you can give them monsters exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's pretty good. And then everyone sends Draco back now, you know, because people don't really respect mine.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the one game that I lost in day 2, I lost 1 game to Drytron because I banished my Draco back and he was playing mine, and I was like, well then.
Well then. Bro, did I tell you about the guy that was playing 2 Draco back?
Yeah, Draco, low key, Draco back's the best card in that engine.
Dude, he was like Faithful Search, and I was like, what? No way. You don't run 2. I was like, no. Not like this.
Did you guys see that striker list that I put in the chat earlier? He got top 32. He was playing 3 mine in the main and 3 offerings to the doomed.
Yeah, that list is wild. I don't know, man. I don't like skipping my draw phase.
Yeah, me either. Like, that's such a random card to play.
Oh, like, what's that card, like, Smashing Ground? That's a spell, too.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not a quick play.
You're literally just like you play a draw phase though. Like your deck has a draw phase built into its engine.
Yeah. You run out of Kagaris.
True.
Yeah. It was just wild. I haven't seen a list like that before.
I remember one game, some guy sideblocked me, and then I just OTK'd him with the Brave engine. It's just like this is why Scythe is bad.
I never needed it, bro. I never needed the extra deck.
Yeah, you have nothing after it's like.
Yeah, that's a great point because it's like that's why I think like Scythe isn't that good because Brave is just everywhere. Like you don't need the extra deck for that. That's insane.
Yeah, Brave is definitely what kind of makes this format toxic because I mean it definitely punishes you for not having 2 hand traps.
Right?
Yeah,
that's why we're all running like a million hand traps.
It's just insane,
I don't know.
Man.
It's not going away yet, though.
Yeah.
Nah, they gotta make their money off of it.
Yeah.
It's got to go through at least a couple of reprints. That's for a fact.
Okay, guys. Well, we just passed the 1 hour mark, so I guess if anybody has any closing statements for this episode, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Shout outs to Easy Gaming, man. Shout outs to North Carolina, bro. We showed out. YCS was amazing, man. It's only up from here, guys. You know what I mean? Like, made day 2 game away from top cut. Both Albert and I, like, same for Madison, same for Arturo. We were there, man. We were all there.
That's all our local crew.
Yeah, we were all there, man. We just gonna take that next step. Don't worry about it. And that's what I'm really grateful for to have people I could share this experience with, people who also are supporting me and I got my back. You know what I mean? Like that. Like Corey did like the nicest thing for me that whole day on Saturday where I had to break my fast, and like he called the head judge to make sure that they made my accommodations in case if I needed it, and I really appreciated that, Corey. Like that meant a lot to me. Like the fact that you had my back, like in that instance, you know what I mean? I really did appreciate that.
And whenever you told me you had to break your fast at a specific time, and I was like, bro, like last thing he needs to worry about is like not being able to do this while he's playing his game to top, like, or like get to day 2. Like, so I just like I'm just gonna handle it. It is what it is.
Appreciate it.
You do the same for me if it was reversed, so I know that.
That's a damn fact. You know it.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you all for being on this week, and thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Dark Magical Gaming Podcast.